My name is Kyle, and I'll be giving you an introduction to thegeneralscale.com. The primary function of thegeneralscale.com is to take an existing counting scale that you may already have in your workforce that has an existing serial RS-232 output, and we essentially make it smart. The primary goal is to eliminate all tare counting weights by capturing a part unit weight for each unique part number, store that system directly, and allow you to utilize it in your accounting workflows. A full integration of the system would allow you to utilize your existing ERP system to connect to your live part database that already exists, as well as your existing work orders and purchase orders in order to do full utilization of any of an activity that would utilize accounting scale. So what I'll do today is go over a quick introduction of how we utilize it here currently, which has full enterprise subscription level features, and I can go over some of the introductory features. Once you log in here, you'll be able to pick your account, and you're brought to this dashboard page. You have two primary options. If you are a company admin, you'll have your view network devices for existing users, and then you have your admin portal. In this admin portal, you'll be directed to your company management page where you'll be able to look at your subscription status, including your plan, payment status, and the total features that are available to you currently. We have some additional benefits like an ROI calculator, which will look at your batch history data and give you a estimated time saved that you can quantify into dollars based on your top running parts. So this is live data that it'll track from batches that are utilized within the system. We also now have a payment portal where users can go through, view their open invoices, pay any outstanding amounts, and this will all be done via PayPal. As you move forward into the physical configuration, you have your software and database settings. These are going to be utilized for pretty much direct connection only for your database connections. And that would be for our local connection. We also have the ability to proxy those connections through your hub, which will be installed at your site and handle all of the traffic for your devices, which include your scales and your printers that will be utilized by this application. We also have the ability to use API connections if that is the preferred connection method for your company. You can configure all of your individual required connections uniquely with REST API endpoints. And again, those can be proxied through your hub if needed. Now into the heart of the program, which is going to be your scale profiles. This is what you would set up first. You would take your existing scale, you would make your profile based on that exact manufacturer and model number. And then you utilize your existing scale settings, which are going to be its precision, its min sample size, and its max capacity. From here, you can kind of customize your own settings, which will be utilized for how your workflow may want to be benefited from, including your accuracy and the utilization of the smart detection for error detection. And that will also look at the threshold that is allowed in variance from parts in order to ensure that you have accuracy on your counts and on your learns. Some of these other features here are additional delay times that can help allow your reading to stabilize prior to utilizing the physical quantity, and that's customizable. And this is a value that is automatically learned through our pattern recognition system to learn the output of your scale and to come up with a pattern recognition system in order to read the data out of your scale. So this makes our ability to utilize your existing scale base almost seamlessly. You have a setup guide here that can walk you through all the settings that I kind of just described, and then the pattern analysis results will show up here once you have initiated your scale profile into learn mode. Once you've got a scale profile set up, you can go ahead and add devices. You can see here that I already have 2 hubs connected for this company, and I have devices connected that are on both different hubs. This allows you to utilize multiple locations accessing the same shared database of all your part records and all of your batch history. Here you can add any customization to your scales, including the color that it shows up on your scale page. And then down here, you'll also be able to configure your printer settings. And these are label printers you can utilize throughout your building and send labels to, which you will be able to see when we show the application running. The part management section here is going to be all of your repository for all of your part data. We store as much data as we possibly can as far as accuracy setting, the sample size, and then most crucially, the per unit weight, which is utilized over and over again throughout the application. In your SPC management, this is statistical process control. This is your ability to now configure settings based on how you would like your environment to run. You have automatic baseline resets, you have confidence threshold settings, different modes, different rules, and email alerts that you can use to essentially review this data that will automatically be configured in your dashboard here. Now, what this does is it looks at all of your batch history data and essentially maps it on a graph and gives you recommendations of parts that you need to review based on the confidence level it has related to that threshold variance. So give you your top parts here that you need to now review. And you have your settings and your reports that you can review up here. In your analyze page for each of these parts, it comes with a lot of data that you can review more specifically to that part, including all of the recent batch history data down here and whether it was in or out of control. If you want to look at it on a graph, we also have these detailed charts, which are very helpful in order for you to be able to look at over history and plot to see where your variances are, which can also be compared by device, or it can be compared by employees. And you can try to find your variances if there could be a common denominator with your problems that you may be having that might be specific to that part. So you have R chart groups and X bar charts to help you see it over time and to help see the actual variance related to your mean median data line. So this is all features that are going to be available on the full enterprise version. And to go into physical workflow, once you have had your devices configured, you can go back to your main dashboard here and you can go to look at your view devices. And depending on your company's preference, you can use a employee ID verification once a user is going to access this screen. It is currently set up where every user who uses the scale should have their own user created in our system. And then when a device is chosen for that particular operator, they will go ahead and enter their employee IDs if chosen. And then you're taken to the primary scale page. In this department, you have two main functions for input. You have a part number search and you have a work order search. Starting from the left, you can do your basic part number search. This will bring up all of your details connected to your external source, bring in all of your inventory data if required, and also the ability to now look at your open POs. This shows you that data and allows you to load this data right into your workflow. So if you need to receive this particular line, you now have the quantities and PO information required. And if you have to count in batches of 2, you can build up to your required quantities and print labels as needed via the print accumulation function here. So it gives you the ability to now verify that everything is counted on a receiving side. If any part is new, when you enter into here, you will be prompted for new learn data, and you get walked through a workflow of that. If you have work orders that already exist and you want to utilize the scale in order to kit, all you do is enter your work order number here. This is going to load all of the parts that are on that particular work order and guide them through the workflow. They start with the first part on the list. It verifies that they have a physical unit weight for all of these parts. And if not, then it recommends a new learn here based on the inventory amounts. So they can just click on any part that they want. It'll load up the image so they have it right in front of them and allows them again to work towards the required quantity for the specific work order, guiding them based on that direction. And again, they can utilize the accumulation function to fit up to that number if that is all that fit on the scale in that particular time frame. Another feature that you can see is utilized here is we have what we call an effective quantity, which shows recent batches that have been kitted within the last 24 hours. This way, if you have a system that does not refresh immediately based on parts being removed from an inventory location, that they were recently put into a work order, you can spend less time looking for parts that might be missing and know exactly where they might be. So it's just additional information to help an operator waste less time while trying to complete their required job, which is to meet this required quantity in front of them. So operators are no longer required to do tare weights to try to establish a baseline. They're able to go utilize the number that we already have in the system and go right to their live counting functions to meet their goals. So again, that's kind of the primary function of this system. There's a lot of other little features built in, such as status reports for work orders. We have modes that you can enable in order to now process sets of work orders for components that need to be kitted in bulk, but then processed into equal quantities based on the required work order quantity. You can now walk yourself through those modes and so forth. So we can customize workflows based on your company's specific requirements. If you're utilizing the enterprise version, we would have customized API endpoints and we would have customized workflows to help guide you in your main purpose for eliminating tare weights. So that's an overall summary of what this program and application can do. And as you can see on our specific ROI page, in the last 30 days, we've already saved 110 hours worth of counting tare parts at just about an average of 2 minutes per part. And that's related to about 3,300 batches that the operators have done. So we're utilizing 3 kitters to kit at the moment, and that's kind of where that data is coming from. But it has been very effective for us as far as a overall time saver that the group appreciates. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and you can email info@thegeneralscale.com. Thanks again.